Hey, Bungie just decided to drop the biggest TWAB this week. And as the title says, I figured I want to go over the brand new Strand aspects for y'all and kind of give my thoughts and opinions on how you could build craft around those. But just as a quick little rundown, if you haven't seen it, we got our first season of the deep teaser, which just looks phenomenal. Like, this looks really, really cool in my opinion. I think this is probably one of the coolest looking seasons so far that we've had in a while. We have Sloan coming back, and it looks like she has a taken hand alongside the giant thing under Titan is awake now apparently. So dude, I cannot wait to see everything about this. These are aspects which we get back into in a second. Obviously yesterday we had our huge post about our Strand stasis and all that stuff. I did not make a video about that, but there's some great changes about all our other subclasses in the entire game. Economy changes are great. We don't actually have to worry about power grind next season, so that takes away that part of the game. Exotic focusing, that's something you're into, and it's going to be really, really cool. Deep site activation, craft and economy changes, better chances to get exotics from older dungeons and raids. We have fineness, matter weave, and rainmakers being depreciated, and the ones you already have, I'm pretty sure will actually just give you the one enhancement core. So now you could just always get these. This is such a great change just to remove some of the economy in the game because they're just kind of there for no reason. Vanguard bounty updates, I guess that's cool. We have Archie coming back next season. There's one downside, they are increasing the price a little bit for the season. Not exactly sure why, but maybe there's some more stuff in the the season now. It does say they're investing in crafting compelling seasonal experiences, so who knows, there may be some more stuff in it with some more quality stuff, but that is a little sad to see. But trials rewards, and apparently there's an exotic cosmetic coming back. They're adding a new trials quest. They are changing up the trials game mode, which I guess could be a little bad for some people, but honestly I don't mind the game mode. Gilded flawless is now a thing. There's a emblem for getting to the lighthouse, I think, without ever losing. It's like, there's so many good changes in this one TWAB for just season 21 next season, and I think we're off to a great start. But obviously what y'all came here for, we couldn't Strand waiting any longer to talk about these new aspects. I've been very excited about these aspects, very curious how they're going to change the playstyle, because Strand's already really good in the game. So this could just make it even more broken. We'll just have to see what they're doing. It does say that we will be able to acquire these aspects as part of a new pursuit after visiting the Puka Pond. So you may not have to buy it with the Strand bucks, as my friend group likes to call them, but there may be like a certain quest tied to it. So I just did want to point that out there. So the hunter aspect is called Threaded Spectre. Activate your class ability to leave behind a decoy woven from Strand matter that draws attention to nearby combatants. After taking significant damage or when combatants approach, they detonate, dealing damage and releasing threatlings that seek out and attack nearby foes. So that's pretty cool, because it seems that the hunter is now going to have somewhat of a threatening based build, and also that it makes a decoy woven. I'm pretty sure that is just the little like tangle that is just invisible, like you can't pick it up. You can still grapple to it, but it kind of just sits there. If you play Titan and Hunter, I think you know what I'm talking about. Warlocks don't get to take advantage of it pretty much at all, I think, from the kit. So I'm pretty sure that's what it is, but it could be a little different because it does talk about it taking damage. So when it's taking that damage, it will initially explode. I don't know how much damage it will do. It probably needs to do a significant amount of damage. Probably will be somewhat around just the damage of a tangle, and then threatlings will actually come out. So it's kind of like swarmers in an aspect, but you use your class ability to put it down, I guess. But obviously you should be able to pair this with your other hunter aspect. So when you dive, you get to spin enemies, and then maybe this will blow them up, so you can kind of have just like an explosive dive to the ground, then make some threatlings. That could be really cool. This could have some pretty cool build potential. Now it does also say pesky cabal gunfire have you pinned down, need a quick distraction so you can revive a teammate. Have you ever thought about what a bunch of threatlings in a trench coat looks like? The new Threaded Spectre aspect for hunter threat runner might just be what you're looking for. When players activate their dodge, they leave behind a decoy woven from Strand matter that draws attention of enemies on the battlefield. Enemies will shoot the Threaded Spectre until it destroys or expires, giving the hunter and their fire team enough time to get to safety. When destroyed, a Threaded Spectre explodes into 2 threatlings. Threaded Spectre gives hunters players access to threatling generation and a new way to control the battlefield. Okay, so that's actually really cool. It gives a little bit more insight. So the decoy you make will actually, it seems to draw aggro, so you can escape or just anything of the sort, so you can probably do so many, you know, cool things with that. So it seems like this is going to be more of a defensive thing, so you can throw it down, enemies are going to start attacking, and eventually once they do enough damage, it'll explode into 2 threatlings. They do iterate that it is 2 threatlings. So again, this could be kind of used defensively, and I think also offensively if you do pair with the other Strand aspect. This could be pretty cool. I'm excited to see some build potential with this. I'm not like the craziest about it. We'll just have to wait and see how all the numbers add up and see how it performs. Okay, well now we have the Titan aspect called Fletch Storm. While sliding, activate your charge melee ability to leap into the air, knocking nearby targets away and dealing damage. While airborne, activate your charge melee again to launch a cluster of damage, unraveling projectiles. Repeatedly activating melee will chain additional throws. Okay, so this seems like it's going to give you another way to play into your 3 melee charges, which is pretty cool. I actually like the Strand Titan melee. It's pretty good. So now when you're sliding, you can now apparently leap up into the air, and you can then have this large cluster damage that apparently unravels targets. This could be decent. I know the other aspect that's similar to this on the Strand Titan doesn't get that much use. This seems kind of similar to that, except this is more about doing damage. You kind of slot in, jump up in the air, hit your melee, and now you're gonna be unraveling everything. So it seems like it kind of might work as a miniature grapple melee, but just for your melee alone, and you don't have to run grapple. Since this is based around your melee, this obviously will pair super well with the Titan aspect. So when you have woven melee equip, you get some more melee generation. Maybe this could be good. Again, this is kind of one of those things we'll have to wait and see on paper just how good it will be, but pairing it together with some melee based stuff, who knows, this could be really good. But it also says Berserker Titans are known for their unbridled aggression. While sprinting headfirst into the battle is often the best way to deploy Berserker abilities, we want to provide players with a tool that allows for more potency at range and gives Titan easier ways to unravel enemies. This is where Fletch Storms comes into play. Also, I totally just realized I've been pronouncing this aspect wrong the entire time, so forgive me. With Fletch Storm, Berserkers have access to a powerful new slot melee attack that quickly launches them up into the air and blasts away any nearby enemies. While still airborne, press the melee button again to fire a cluster of tracking projectiles that deal heavy damage and unravel enemies. Fletch Storm provides the Berserker with a ranged melee option while keeping the spirit of the fast-paced gameplay. Okay, so again, reading more into that, it seems that this is going to be a ranged option that tracks enemies down and does heavy damage. So who knows, this could be really cool if you do have a way to constantly regenerate your melee a lot, especially paired with that aspect. You can just kind of throw these out in the background and just have these melee track enemies, and also it unravels. Titan doesn't really have a lot of ways to unravel enemies, so this is a great way to do it. I'm actually pretty excited to see what this aspect can do. Also, in the beginning, I'm sorry if I made you cringe when I pronounced that wrong, but hey, we all make mistakes. Let's just always try to improve upon them. Okay, so now for all my Warlock mains out there, our aspect is called the Wanderer. Tangles you throw attach to enemies and detonate into a suspending burst. Threatening final blows create a tangle. Okay, so on paper, this does sound pretty cool. My only issue with this is that it is going to be based all around tangles. Tangles have such a long internal cooldown, in my opinion. Maybe this aspect will lower that in some type of way, but with how little you seem to get them, I don't really know if I want to take a whole aspect that's based around it. And it seems that it's supposed to cause these suspending bursts when I could just use my other aspect to suspend enemies on weapon kills. It's not looking that appealing quite yet. Now, it is cool if you are playing a threatling build, will create a tangle, because that gives your threatlings even more utility, especially pairing that with swarmers. Your threatlings will unravel enemies. Also, destroying a tangle will create threatlings, which they can go on to make another threatling. Again, the cooldown will play a issue into that, because if you make the tangle then kill it, then the threatling gets a kill. It won't make another tangle because you have a tangle cooldown. We'll just have to kind of wait and see how that's going to work out, though. Also, with it attaching to enemies, I imagine it's going to have somewhat of a delay before it detonates, so hopefully it would do a little bit more damage than a normal tangle, but it does create that suspending burst. So maybe it's a pretty large suspending burst. If it is, that could be pretty cool. If it's kind of like the one in the aspect, that might be really good. And I guess if you don't care about making threatlings with your rift, this is probably just the aspect you're going to slot in there, because it seems like he'll just let you suspend even more, which is by far the most broken thing on Strand. I think they did not mention, though, is the amount of fragment slots that these come with, so that could also play a huge role, because some of the Strand fragments are really good. But regardless, it also says since the Warlock Brute is a Strand minion master, it felt natural to explore additional ways the Brute Weaver might weave life into the world around them. Enter the Wanderer, a sentient tangle woven from Broodweaver Brilliance. When Warlocks equipped with this aspect picked up a tingle, they weave the tingle into the Wanderer. When thrown, the Wanderer travels through the air seeking targets. Once it finds a target, it soars towards them, latches on, and explodes into a suspended detonation that deals damage and suspends any nearby enemies. To round out the gameplay loop, the Wanderer also enables threatening final blows from any source to create a tangle. The Wanderer gives Broodweavers another way to upgrade their tingles and grants access to the suspend effect without needing a shackle grenade. All right, so that sheds a little bit more light. So it seems like the Wanderer is going to be its own unique thing. So when you pick up a tingle, you apparently transform that into this newer tingle. I'm not exactly sure what it's going to look like. I hope it looks pretty cool, but apparently it kind of just tracks towards them in a way. Then it'll latch on, then it will do the detonation. So there will be a little downtime, it seems, to when it does hit, but then again, it will make that suspending detonation, and it gives Warlocks another way to suspend without having to just run the shackle grenade. So again, I think it's pretty cool. Maybe if I make a tangle that turn into the Wanderer, like it will reduce the tangle cooldown, so I make another one. That is my only downside of this. Just with that long cooldown it has, I'm really scared that this aspect is just not going to be that good, because you just won't get to take advantage of it too much like you can with other aspects. But again, we'll just have to wait and see. We'll have to see all the numbers, and maybe this thing does a ton of damage and it can just destroy everything. But that's pretty much it for all the aspects. Let me know what you think about them in the comments below. Also, are you excited for our next season? There's a lot of good stuff in this TWAB, so I would love to hear y'all's opinions on everything. Definitely excited to seemingly be going back to Titan, and definitely excited to start crafting these builds for you all. Anyway, if y'all enjoy and learn anything, you consider doing all the normal YouTube stuff. It really helps the channel grow, and I'm on the road to 40,000 subscribers. So if you'd like to help me on that journey, it would be truly appreciated, and you would mean the world to me. Obviously, just know that watching the video is way more than enough though, and that every single bit of support from you all is truly appreciated. Thank you all so much for watching this one, and have a great day. Peace.